Guys, what's going on way at Watches and Wonder 2022 with my brother Guido Terreni, who incidentally has just smashed it with Parmigiani Fleurier and the PF. Brother, how are you?
I can't give you the glove like this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
How are you?
Yes. You know, I remember when I saw the PF, which you launched last year in Geneva Watch Days, already I was just blown away. I'd always said, you know, I had so much respect for Parmigiani Fleurier, but now for the first time I saw watches that were so desirable, and it's just down to your amazing design. So congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
Brother. So, you know, last year we had already the launch of a beautiful chronograph, a beautiful annual calendar, a time and date model, which has now become one of the hottest watches in the world. Tell us a little bit about what you're launching for Watches and Wonders, sir.
Well, you know that it's so about respecting the deep knowledge of the brand and the style that we conveyed through the Tonda PF that we want to nourish, but with a lot of attention,
right,
with a lot of care. You know? So it's not about the sake of just having a new novelty. If you do a new watch, nobody needs a new watch.
Right.
You need to do something that is worthwhile. And last year when we presented the Tonda PF, we were showcasing a style. And I told you that to me, a niche brand has the obligation to push the boundaries of watchmaking, and because you have to experiment. And I refuse the idea to say you cannot reinvent watchmaking because everything has already been done. No, you have to insist. You have to
absolutely.
You have to push it forward, and we're very, very proud to launch and to unveil a world premiere, which is a Gmt Rattrapante.
Amazing.
So the Gmt Rattrapante is, first of all, GMT. Why GMT? Because it's one of the most coveted functions.
Right.
Probably after the chronograph, it's the most sought after, and we're exiting hopefully a pandemic, so everybody's willing to travel, and to do it in a Parmigiani way.
Correct.
Because technique is also beautiful. No, like Michel always says, and this watch, for instance, if it came out with a petite seconde, you would have aged the mood. If you would have put a central second hand, it would have been more sporty, you know? So you have this mood that comes from what technique you want to bring.
Exactly.
Know? So if you look at the GMT Rattrapante, it looks like a two-hand watch.
I love it, dude.
It's discreet,
yes,
it's smart, it's elegant, it's interesting, it's intriguing, it's there when you need it. No? And so how does it work? Very simple, as simple ideas are the most powerful ones.
Right.
And we have a push button at 8 o'clock. And you say, why 8 o'clock? It's the most natural position to press something.
Yes. But also from a design perspective, to follow precisely the shape of your signature lug as well.
Exactly. Right? So you have it there because it's elegant, but it's also
incredibly functional. That's right.
And then you, by pressing, you move forward the hour hand, 1 hour at a time. And up to here, nothing new under the sun.
Right.
But what is new is that nobody ever thought about using a Rattrapante function outside a chronograph in the whole history of watchmaking, which is centuries of history of watchmaking. So it's something quite astonishing. So when you press the push button at 9 o'clock, your hand immediately goes back.
That's so cool.
And you're set. You're set.
Yes.
Now the name, we kept the French word Rattrapante.
Because it means to catch up.
It means to catch up. And I don't know who translates into split the Rattrapante, which is exactly the opposite.
Exactly.
So we kept it because you're uniting yourself with home.
Exactly.
And home is your most precious environment in your life. So that's why the home hand is gold.
I love that. So guys, look at that. That is the new Parmigiani Fleurier PF Tonda GMT Rattrapante. Rattrapante, not because of the split-second chronograph, but because it has this incredible capacity for the GMT hand to catch up with the hour hand for the local time. So how does it work? So one thing to understand is that Guido Terreni, when he designs something, he is the master of nuance and detail, and everything is about refinement and nuance and beauty. So you look here, it's a hyper minimalistic GMT watch, right?
Yep.
So let's advance the local time, and all of a sudden you see it split. Now you have the home time, which is in gold because, as Guido just explained, home is where the heart is, it should be the most precious. So let's keep advancing the local time, and there you go. And let's say it's over here for a moment, right? Now, what happens when you want the hands to come back together? It's actually quite emotional, right? Because it's like, you know, it's like you coming back to home. And let's press that, and boom. And so to explain to you guys how Rattrapant works, there's 2 wheels on top of each other that are connected by a spring and a heart cam for the reset.
Yes.
And no one except for Guido Terreni had ever thought about uniting this function with a GMT function, and I absolutely love it, dude. This is so
Thank you.
fantastic.
And there's another detail, because everything that separates you from home is in white.
Yes.
So the push button, the split button, that's splitting the hour,
Yes.
is white. The time away from home is white gold.
Right.
But everything that is linked to home is gold. So
Oh, that's
the,
cool.
the monopoussoir,
Yes.
that is the back home function,
That's
if you want.
beautiful.
And then we also put gold micro rotor, because it's what keeps alive the movement.
Yes.
And home that keeps alive your life. So there's plenty of nuances in the thinking of how you use technique to do something emotional.
So I want to show you this again. So if you look at it, right now the hands are together. And I'm going to advance them, and you can see here the home time hand is in gold. And the pusher that unites these two is also in gold. So this and this is all about home. Let's press that, boom, and they're together again. I'm going to put that for you right here and do it one more time. So as you can see right now, the local time and home time are together. You start pushing it forward, and you can see now they are apart. Gold for the home time, white gold for the local time. And as you can see right here in this crown, gold for the pusher that unites them, and I'm going to press it now, boom, instantaneously together. Absolutely love that, Guido. And right around, when we go over here, gold for the rotor as well. May we even ask, what is the price of this?
26,000 Swiss francs or euro.
Phenomenal, phenomenal, you know? And one of the things that I love is all the details in this watch. So already last year when Guido had launched the PF, I love this little bevel here for this flared luck, which is high polish. I love the amount of fluting in the bezel, which is incidentally a platinum bezel, even though it's a steel watch. And now you have a little soupçon gold here as well. Beautiful integration of the bracelet, so supple. This has become the sexy integrated bracelet watch. If you are in the know, this is the watch to have. Would you agree, sir?
I would agree, yes. Thank you for saying that.
So what else do we have?
Well, as I said, we're pushing the purity in mechanics.
Right.
So a skeleton done by us, by Parmigiani Ferrier, has to be extremely, extremely discreet, and the readability of the time has to be perfect. So everything that is in the mechanic is kept at the monochromatic look. So you don't see any gold, you just see a NAC treatment, so a dark gray, and a rhodium in the wheels, in the pivots, and everything.
Beautiful.
And the reading of the time is in pink gold. And there are subtle details that are extremely interesting. And you know, a designer in watchmaking has few millimeters to express itself.
Of course.
So it's not that you have so much room. So we kept the same philosophy of the micro rotor, where you have this polished index that is across the surface of the guilloche and goes down into the minute scale.
I love that.
Here you don't have the guilloche because you have a skeleton.
Right.
So the Réau is on the same finishing of the movement, and the index is across this Réau and finishes outside the Réau at a lower level.
Wonderful.
Then we cut the Réau, and you have an invitation to see the chamfer, the polished chamfer that is outside the movement. And these indexes are basically suspended
over the chamfer,
and they're floating in the air.
Incredible.
And then the logo is engraved in the platine, so it's not applied, it's part of the movement.
I love that, dude.
That has to be perfect.
That's fantastic.
And this is the back of the movement with the PF oscillating mass. And in this project, it was born the idea of having the sapphire. Because when I saw it, it was fully gold, this ellipse with the PF logo, as you see it here on my bracelet.
Right.
And he said, no, it's a skeleton. We have to show the letters flying over the bridge.
Wait,
and we had
so there's skeletons.
we had the idea of the sapphire looking at this project, and then we anticipated the mass of the skeleton into the collection last year.
That's amazing. I absolutely love
And
that.
nobody ever did a sapphire oscillating mass. Because
Fantastic.
it's a dial technique applied to an oscillating mass.
Yes.
And due that watchmaking is made of specialists, we have to mix up a little bit things,
Exactly.
parts together.
So guys, just for you to understand then, what you see, the mass is actually composed of both gold, but with also sapphire in the interior to help you suspend this stunning logo, right? So I'm going to put this on the watch stand for Munster to get his close-ups. And take particular attention for the Lehot, which is the ramp that goes from the outer edge of the bezel into the movement itself here, because it's a skeletonized watch. And look at that beautiful polished chamfer, that edge around there, and look at how the indexes are suspended over that. That's absolutely stunning. And look at the PF logo in there. That's engraved into the base plate. It's not an applied logo. Guido, can I ask you what the cost of this watch is?
59, and that is an 8.6 millimeter case, 100 meter water resistance, screwed crown, like the whole collection. So
Incredible.
and it comes
8.6 millimeter. I love
40
that.
millimeter, and it comes in gold.
Wow,
This is really stunning.
that's a killer.
I think I underestimated the mix. This
What did you?
I foreseen 70% and 30%, but they're more
But everyone wants gold.
55, 55, 45.
Oh wow, the gold is amazing, and because of this, gray treatment for the movement,
It stands out even more. Yes.
that plus the rose gold is stunning to behold. Wow, that's absolutely majestic, dude. That's fantastic.
Thank you. And I must say that the lights here are not as good as outside, so you will see even better in real flesh.
Let's put it over here. Okay, so we have the GMT Retropont. We've got two skeletonized versions of this watch, but skeletonized incidentally with no compromise, 8.6 mm in thickness, but with a screw and crown and water resistant to 100 meters. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Which means you can be wearing this beautiful skeletonized watch while taking a little dip in the pool, or even sitting in your hot tub.
Yep.
Hot tub.
Then, following the success of the Chrono Retropont of last year in full platinum, that was sold out. In
You know how
25
much I love
pieces.
that watch, bro.
Yes. We're elevating the discretion up to the tourbillon.
Nice.
And we're keeping the same philosophy. So
Oh, that's
full platinum,
beautiful.
Full platinum.
Yes.
And the openness of the dial is a
Yes.
42 millimeter case. The fact that you don't have counters, you have the surface which is completely across the dial. It just opens up for the flying tourbillon. Micro rotor in platinum, ultra thin movement for the tourbillon.
Look, what is the thickness of that case?
8.5.
That's phenomenal. 8.5 mm in terms of thickness. So that's
100 meters. What
100
it
meters
is.
water resistant, screw and
Screw
crown.
crown.
Dude. And then look at the detail of look at the cage and look at the aperture and look how beautifully polished it's around there. It's incredible.
This sandblasted dial in platinum
I love
is,
that sandblasted.
is incredible. I love it.
So the dial is sandblasted platinum.
Platinum,
Wow.
yeah, like you had in the chronograph. And it's very dressy, very elegant, understated, because you wouldn't imagine that you have all that wealth on that watch, because it's not in your face.
And to me, this is what's so cool about what you designed with the PF. I remember when you were talking about it when you first arrived in Parmigiani Fleury. You were saying you went to the design team and said, let's identify what our codes were, and everyone could identify technical codes, but no one was identifying aesthetic codes. And you're just like, okay, now we have to think about it. And you really basically rewrote that book.
Yeah.
But what was amazing about it, with the new iconography you've come up with this nuance of detail, the micro fluting in the bezel, the texture of the clou de Paris on the dial, which is like a micro clou de Paris. In fact, I remember when you showed me different experimentations, and if you gone one unit smaller, it would have been invisible to the eye.
It was invisible.
It was invisible to the eye.
You need a loop.
Yeah, the mastery of this stunning bracelet that's integrated into this case with the beautiful flared lugs that have that polished chamfer on the inside. I mean, it's all about nuance, and I love to see that it's extrapolated so well in skeleton watch, which is so elegant, in the GMT Retropont, which is so elegant, and in the flying Torb, which also absolutely magnificent to behold. That is a majestic watch, and the fine sable finish on this platinum dial. It's
Well,
so
you have
sexy.
ceramic beads that are extremely small, and the smaller they are, the whiter is the surface.
That's
because
incredible.
that's part of how
Yes.
the light reflects.
Guido, I gotta say, dude, you smashed it.
Last thing I show you is on the GT.
Okay, with pleasure.
And you know that we have this, the Black Panda, if you want, that's how we call it, the
Yes.
silver Black Panda, which, by the way, has accelerated in sales after the visibility that I thought there would have been a slight cannibalization. On the contrary, has been completely exalted by the visibility of the brand. And we're having fun.
Now you're killing it with this too. It's incredible.
It's disgusting. I would love to be God and multiply our watches, but I can't. So,
incredible. And you did a really cool limited edition of this watch last year.
We did a few of them for certain clients.
Yes,
but
exactly.
here we're playing with subtle colors, which are extremely fresh and long-lasting, like
nice.
this quantum gray. And you see how how you can feel that is not a fashion color.
Yeah.
It's not a seasonal color.
Yes.
It's something that stays and is discreet, but is formally
It's so
elegant.
yes.
And then you have a granata. Granata is like a grenade. It's a very masculine
Oh, I love
red.
that.
We have some brown in this.
I love
this
that.
color, and on the gold it's even more.
Dude, that's incredible.
So these are ways to have fun
Yes.
with the GT. In a sober and discreet way, if you want, because they're not.
Yeah, but
talking
I
about
love
flashy
your
colors.
approach. I love your approach to color as well, which is always like which is not really one color, but it's a multitude of different colors,
Yeah.
right? So even when we're talking about like,
It's the same palette.
yeah, I mean,
It's the same
and the
palette.
color on that original dial which you launched, it's like it's not just gray. There's so
No.
much going on. There's subtle hints of like brown in there as well, and there's so much nuance and modulation for that. I think it's also because you like clothes.
I
You
do,
have
but
great style, obviously.
well, it's. I think there's also. We were inspired by Le Corbusier.
Yes.
Who in the 30s, in 31, he came out with this palette, and he was the first architect to say that colors influence your mood,
Yes.
your way of your ambient in your
Yes.
home, and if you look at the palette of Le Corbusier, it's extremely elegant, extremely modern. It seems like it's done today. no?
Right.
But I think that you have that discretion, that Swiss culture, that is not flashy, that is elegant, which is there forever. I don't know, solid.
That's
solid
it.
understatement.
That's it. So Guido,
That's it for us.
Congratulations, man. I mean, you've done it. You've made this Parmigiani Fleury or the PF, like the brand everyone, and I love it's PF. The
it's
brand that
easier.
everyone wants to have on their wrist now. So bravo,
Thank
sir.
you, Roy.
I
It's a
couldn't,
pleasure.
I couldn't happen to a cooler and more knowledgeable and more capable person. So
Thank you.
awesome, Guido. Cheers, guys.